Hello YouTube! It is I, Ruger Funk, here today with a hopefully more cheering video than the one I uploaded last night. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my deck recipe for Yu-Gi-Oh! I run a Dark World deck, so I'll be showing you that recipe. We're going to start off with the monsters today. To start off, I have 3 Grapha, Dragon Lord of Dark Worlds, kinda have to. Pretty standard discard, destroy something on the field. It's pretty great. I love him so much. He is my baby. Next off, I have 3 Snow, Unlight of Dark Worlds. 3 in this deck is a must. You know, discard, search, get any Dark World card from your deck to your hand. It's pretty amazing. Next off, I have 3 Silva, Warlord of Dark Worlds. Again, Silva's pretty great. All of these cards are great. I'm just going to say that right now. But yeah, I have 3 Silvas. He's pretty easy to get out. Just if he's discarded with a card effect, he special summons to your side of the field. He has 2300 attack. I mean, just, you know, discard to grave, get 2300 attack points. Yes, please. Next up, I have Silva's counterpart. I only have 1 of him, though. 1 gold Wu Lord of Dark World. Same effect pretty much as Silva. When he's discarded, special summon. He also has 2300 attack, but their effects, these 2 guys here, they differ. If it's discarded by an opponent's card effect, Silva sends 2 cards from your opponent's hand to the bottom of the deck. While gold, if he's discarded by an opponent's card effect, he destroys 2 of your opponent's cards up the field. Up to 2, sorry, my apologies. Up to 2. You know, they're both pretty great. Practicality-wise, I prefer Silva, but just effect-wise, I prefer gold. Just, you know, those kind of things. Next up, we have 3 Beige, Vanguard of Dark World. I mean, he's a level 4, he has 1600 attack, pretty basic. His only effect when he's discarded special summon. So yeah, I mean, you can either discard him to special summon or normal summon him. Either way, you're at least getting something out on the field, which is why I run 3 of him instead of the normal 2. Speaking of normals being 2, instead of running 2 Brow Huntsman of Dark Worlds, I run 3. His effect is pretty good. When he's discarded to the grave, you draw a card. If an opponent discarded him, you draw 2 cards. Pretty great. But also, he works well with the next card in the deck also. And I run 2 Tour Guide of the Underworlds. Tour Guide's effect, when it's normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 3 Fiend-type monster from your hand or deck. Its effects are negated, and it cannot be used as a synchro material monster. So, you know, I go, normal summon. Oh, hey, guess what? I have Brow in my hand. Oh, special summon, overlay into a rank 3. Boom. Probably, like, one of the easiest summons that will ever happen for you. Just saying. And to finish off the monsters, I run, I don't have them, so I'm proxying them. I run 2 Trance Archfiends. He's a level 4, he has 1500 attack. His effect is, once per turn, discard 1, I think it's monster. It's discard 1 monster from your hand. And then, Trance will gain 500 attack. So he goes from 1500 to a whopping 2000. Yeah, and the Dark Worlds also get their effects, so I think you guys can put 2 and 2 together. You're a smart audience, hopefully. Next, we're moving on to the spells. To start off, I have 3 Gates of Dark World. It's a field spell. Its effects, all Fiend-type monsters gain 300 attack and defense. And now its other effect, that one I like to call its passive, because I'm a nerd, and I like games and whatnot. So that's its passive. But its active effect, the one you have to activate, is once per turn, you can banish one Fiend-type monster from your graveyard, discard one Fiend-type monster, then draw one card. So, oh, I have gold in my hand. Or go, oh, I have Brow in my hand. Gates of Darkworld effect, remove one Fiend-type from play, send him to the graveyard, which will most likely be over here somewhere. See? Using that as my graveyard. And now I get to draw from Gates of Darkworld's effect, and then Brow's effect activates, and I get to draw another card. That's a great combo. That really helps. Next up, again, standard in a Dark World deck, 3 Dark World Dealings. This card has a rather simple effect of each player draws one card, then each player discards one card. So pretty much, I draw, then have to discard a card, which will get my Dark World's effects. Again, hopefully you guys are a smart audience and will understand how this card is good in this deck. Next up, I have 2 Dragged Down into the Grave. Now, at first I was really weary about running this card because I've had bad experiences with it in the past, but honestly, lately, it's really just been helping me out. Now, Dragged Down into the Grave is a little complicated at first. I'm going to try to explain this to you guys. You and your opponent look at each other's hands. So, you and your opponent each reveal your hand. Select one card from each other's hands. We each pick one card in the hands. That's pretty self-explanatory, right, guys? And then discard them to the graveyard. So that card I picked in my opponent's hand goes to the graveyard. And vice versa with the card he picked from my hand. Then each player draws one card. Then, we draw. That's pretty self-explanatory. Used correctly, this card is a dangerous, dangerous weapon, and it is very useful, which is why I love it. Next up, I have 1 Into the Void. Very ominous, I know, and it's actually a very good card when used correctly. See, all of these cards have to be used correctly in order to be good, which doesn't always happen. Even on my account, I mess up sometimes. But, hey, when I don't mess up, my opponent's in for some rude awakening. Anyway, Into the Void's effect. Activate only if you have 3 or more cards in hand. Draw one card. During the end phase of this turn, discard all cards in your hand. The only bad thing about Into the Void is it only happens during the end phase. But that's still pretty good when how I can discard a 5 to 6 card hand of all monsters and get a lot of awesome effects. Again, only works well if used correctly. Next up, I have 1 Gateway into the Dark World. Now this is a special type of card called a Quick Play spell card, where I can set it and use it on my opponent's turn. Gateway to Dark World's effect is target 1 Dark World monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target. You cannot special summon other monsters the turn you activate this card. So pretty much say, oh, I don't have a monster on the field. Set that. I end my turn. During my opponent's turn, I go activate Gateway to Dark World, bring out a strong Dark World monster. Not like I really need to, not like I really could be doing much special summoning on my opponent's turn anyway. Next up, I have 1 Book of Moon. Again, it's a quick play spell card, signified by that little lightning-ish symbol. Select 1 face-up monster on the field and flip it into face-down defense position. Now, this card is limited. You can only have 1 in your deck, and for good reasons. Pretty much, oh, you attacked me for, I don't know, let's say 5,000? Nope. Flip it face down. It loses. Next up, I have 2 Mystical Space Typhoons, or as most people in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community call it, MST. Again, it's a quick play spell card. Little lightning symbol. Destroy 1 magic or trap card on the field. Or if you're looking at newer prints, destroy one spell or trap card on the field. Magic cards and spell cards are literally the same thing, just a different name. Don't know why so many people mix that up, but they do. Anyway, so, destroy one spell or trap card on the field. Pretty good when you think about it. Just, oh, my opponent set something. MST. No, you didn't. It loses. It dies. It goes to oblivion. And spend some time with Mehrunes Dagon, at least till the next match. Or Molag Bal, or any other of the Daedra Lords. Anyway, I'll be making an Elder Scrolls video sometime in the near future, hopefully. And finally, for spells, we have Dark Hole. Destroy all monsters on the field. Pretty self-explanatory. If used correctly, this card will completely ruin someone's strategy. And most people ask me, oh, why do you run Dark Hole? Because Dark Hole, that's why. Finally, we move on to the trap cards. Start off, I have 2 Mind Crush. This card is really, really all around useful. Declare one card name. If that card is in your opponent's hand, they must discard all copies of it from their hand to the graveyard. Otherwise, you discard one random card. So I could go, let's say I know, there's a card in, right, there's special extra deck cards that don't go in your main deck. So let's say I'm going to use Wind Up Zenmaines as one of those cards that doesn't go main deck. I can say, I think you have Wind Up Zenmaines in your hand. They showing me that they don't have Wind Up Zenmaines, then, I get to discard a random card from my hand. If used correctly, Mind Crush is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Next up, I have 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device, or simply known as Compulse. Return 1 monster card on the field to its owner's hand. Pretty self-explanatory, as are most traps. Just, oh, you attack me for 5,000 Blarg of Death. Nope, send it back to wherever it came from. Bye-bye. That card is limited. I can only have 1 in the deck, and oh, does it need to be limited. Next up, I have 1 Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Tribute 1 Dark Attribute monster with 2,500 or more attack, and choose spell cards or trap cards. Check your opponent's hand. All spell-trap cards they control of the selected type, and all cards they draw until their 3rd turn after this card's activation, and destroy all cards of the chosen type. So let's say I choose spell cards and you have Dark Hole and 2 MSTs in hand over here. Boom, they all get destroyed. Then let's say next turn you draw a Book of Moon. Seeing as how, due to this card's effect, you have to show me what you draw. And since it's a spell card, it's also destroyed. Very, very, very life-saving if used correctly. Next up, I have 1 Mirror Force. Activate only when an opponent's monster declares an attack. Destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. So let's say my opponent runs a deck where it's just summon, 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 attack for death. I set this. They attack with 1. I go Mirror Force, destroy their entire field. I run it because Mirror Force. And finally, for this 40-card deck, I run 1 Solemn Warning. When a monster would be summoned, or when a spell card, trap card, or effect monster's effect is activated that includes an effect that special summons a monster or monsters, pay 2,000 life points, negate the summon or activation, and destroy that card. People ask me, dude, why do you run that? It costs way too much life points. Hell, 2,000 life points negate a summon? Yes, please. I don't really care what you think. Alright, well that's pretty much it for my Dark World deck, at least main deck-wise. I don't really have enough time to do any other sort of anything, really. So, hopefully later on we will be watching videos of my friends and I dueling, if nothing else. But yeah, until then I must be going. So, until the next YouTube video, this is the Great Master Cooper, signing off.